He spent days tied behind a trailer, alone, frightened, and without understanding why no one ever came back for him. Too small to defend himself and too fragile to endure so much neglect, that tiny puppy seemed to be slowly losing hope that he would ever be loved. But just when it looked like he would remain invisible to the world forever, one simple phone call changed everything. It was an ordinary weekend for Suzette Hall, founder of Logan's Legacy 29. Alongside volunteer Arturo Flores, she was already busy rescuing animals in difficult situations when she received an urgent message from rescuer Chris Kelly. The message carried a heartbreaking concern. A small puppy had been seen tied to the back of a residential trailer, completely forgotten and seemingly uncared for. Chris could not stop thinking about him. The puppy was alone, ignored, and without any sign that someone truly cared about his life. It was impossible to walk away from a scene like that. Even though they were already handling another rescue, Suzette and Arturo decided to act immediately. They finished helping the animals they were rescuing and rushed to the trailer. During the drive, Suzette kept imagining the condition the little dog might be in. Dogs who experience neglect often develop fear, anxiety, and emotional trauma.
It's okay,
Small
come
puppies
out.
are especially vulnerable because they cannot protect themselves from hunger, stress, or harsh weather. When they finally arrived, their hearts immediately sank. The puppy was no longer outside. For a moment, they feared they had arrived too late. But Suzette refused to leave without answers. Something inside her told her the little dog still needed help, so she made a simple decision that would change his life forever. She walked up and knocked on the trailer door. A man answered a few moments later. Suzette asked him about the tiny puppy who had been tied outside earlier. His response came quickly and without emotion. "Do you want him? You can take him." Without hesitation, the man handed the puppy directly into Suzette's arms and walked back inside the trailer as though he felt relieved to let him go. But for that tiny dog, that moment meant everything. As soon as Suzette held him, his little body trembled with fear. He was confused, scared, and emotionally exhausted. Yet there was something different in his eyes. It was almost as if, for the first time in a very long time, he felt safe. Suzette named him Remi. And the moment she held him, she realized just how tiny and fragile he truly was. Remi weighed only around 5 pounds. He was so small that he seemed even more helpless considering everything he had endured. Despite his fear, he showed no aggression at all. In fact, Remi was incredibly gentle. Many dogs who suffer abandonment lose trust in humans completely. Some become defensive because they have learned to survive through fear. But Remi still carried a quiet desire to believe in kindness again. Maybe deep down, he had never fully given up on being loved. Without wasting a second, Suzette and Arturo drove Remi straight to Camino Pet Hospital. It was likely the first real medical examination he had ever received in his life. At the clinic, veterinarians carefully examined him and quickly discovered the reason behind his poor condition. Remi was suffering from demodectic mange. The condition is caused by microscopic mites that naturally live on dogs' skin. Unlike contagious mange, this type is not spread to other animals or humans, but it often appears when a dog's immune system is weak. Puppies and neglected dogs are especially vulnerable because poor nutrition, stress, and lack of care make it difficult for their bodies to fight back. Remi clearly needed help for a long time. Still, there was something that deeply touched everyone at the clinic. Even while receiving treatment, the little puppy wagged his tail. It was almost as though he was trying to thank the people helping him, as if he somehow understood that his life was finally changing. The veterinary team immediately started treatment with medicated baths, proper nutrition, and ongoing medical care to help him heal. For the first time, Remi had a warm bed, enough food, and people looking at him with genuine affection. And slowly, that love began healing more than just his skin. Soon after, the Forgotten Dog Foundation agreed to welcome Remi into foster care. That was the beginning of an entirely new chapter in his life. Inside his foster home, Remi finally experienced simple things he may have never known before. Sleeping peacefully without fear, hearing soft voices instead of loneliness, feeling gentle hands pet him with kindness, discovering what safety truly feels like. Even though he was still emotionally recovering, his true personality slowly began to shine through. Remi turned out to be affectionate, sweet, and deeply attached to the people caring for him. Little by little, the fear in his eyes faded. His sadness slowly gave way to curiosity and trust. Rescued dogs often go through what many caretakers call emotional decompression. Once they finally feel safe, they slowly begin to understand they no longer need to live in constant fear. Every kind interaction helps rebuild their confidence little by little. That is exactly what happened with Remi. Today, he continues recovering surrounded by love, patience, and care. His health is improving, his fur is slowly growing back, and most importantly, his hope has returned. His rescuers are still searching for the perfect forever family for him, a home where he will never again feel forgotten, abandoned, or alone, because no animal should spend days tied outside waiting for someone to notice them. No dog should grow up believing the world has given up on them. But Remi's story also reminds us of something powerful. It only takes one person willing to care to completely change a life. If Chris Kelly had ignored what she saw, no one may have ever known about that tiny puppy. If Suzette and Arturo had given up when they did not immediately find him outside, Remi might still be suffering behind that trailer. But they did not give up. And because of that, a puppy who was losing hope now finally understands what love feels like. Do you believe love and patience can completely change the life of an emotionally wounded animal? Subscribe to the channel and keep following real news and true stories.